Welcome back to Blitz. It's now time for our phone interview. We're joined now by Dawson County Lady Tigers head basketball coach, Steve Sweat. Coach Sweat, always a pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you, buddy. It's always good to talk to you, Brian.
I enjoy it all the time. And, Coach, last season's Cinderella story was the Dawson County Lady Tigers. Your last winning season prior to this past campaign was 2004 and 2005, and hadn't made state in about a decade or so. And you come out and go 27-6 in a season that saw your girls go all the way to the state title game. How are you feeling this deep into the summer with the girls?
Well, we've had a really good summer, Brian. I tell you, we had a big concern, as many people know, and because we lost our point guard, Carly Gilreath, who had been it since she was a freshman. So we had some good backups for her, and we knew they could. Of course, Carly was one of them people that played a lot and hardly ever come out of the game. So Our big concern there was the guard play. We had our post players coming back, and so I purposely tried to get us some camps that were where we were playing bigger schools, and so we went up to North Georgia and played a lot of the Gwinnett County schools and won most of the games up there. And we just rotating our guards through is what we done all summer long. The ones that were playing the best, of course, played the most, and as would be expected to. But our post players returned. You knew that, and so we felt good about that. And, of course, we had some good inside-outside play, which I was pleased with, and we were able to come out on top against some teams bigger and some of the better teams around this area, which I was really, really pleased with.
Now, like you said, you kind of went into my next question. There's no off season for you girls, for your girls,
no.
And I know you usually coach your girls pretty hard during the summer and get them ready. What are their? Do you guys talk about the title run and trying to duplicate that for next season?
Well, one thing is I guess really to answer your question first, no, we don't really dwell on that, I would say. And I think that's a good thing about some of our players, or most of our players that we got. That wouldn't. It's good to win, and I don't make light of that by no means. You know that, but their concern is we got to win the game that we're playing now.
Right.
And of course that's sort of what their coach does too. And we were lucky and blessed to play in the state championship because we won enough games. And not to sound silly or whatever, but had we not won the games we won and them had the kind of attitude that they did to win those games, we would have never made it to the state championship. So you can't get to the state championship without winning some games before that.
Yeah.
And I like that attitude about them because it's we just need to do what we got to do right now. And they did the same thing this summer. There's little things that you see in teams and the way they handle themselves. And, there's a lot of things at camp that, sometimes the schedule don't go like it's supposed to. And, there may be a change of team, who you're going to play, and just all kind of stuff can go in the summer. And, and how do they handle that? I think that's a big thing. And this bunch seems to just be able to handle stuff. I know that sounds simple.
Well, that's a great segue into my next question. Just and you mentioned this a moment ago. It's just sad to lose one of the all-time greats there at Dawson County, Carly Gilreath, among 6 incredible seniors that you had that were very pivotal to the team's success and were with the program all 4 years. But you're bringing back, as you mentioned, your big post players, your rising junior Cheyenne Seabolt, dominant presence in the paint for her, and now sophomore Carly Bearden, who's more than capable, I guess, being maybe the next Carly Gilreath, and then Ashley Parker as well coming back. How are you feeling overall about this group?
I tell you, all of those that you just named, and I was going to mention that too, along with Carly, like you said. We had 6 seniors on last year's team, and anytime you lose 6 players off of one team, that's a big hole to fill.
Yeah.
So, but as people say, we're gonna put somebody out there to play. We're gonna put 5 people on the floor all the time, and that's what we've done. And these kids have really stepped up. Just to give a perspective, I had told them earlier. I said, "Now, girls, y'all understand how many games we played in 5.5 months?" And they said, "Well, we played 30 something." I said, "Yeah, it was 33." I said, "Now, what I need to tell y'all, what I'm wanting to tell you is, I've got us about 30 games scheduled in the month of June." So we played almost the whole season in the month of June. I said, "Now that's what we're looking to do this summer." And you was talking about how well they work and that kind of stuff, and but they never said anything or anything like that. But based on last year's season, I think they really. I know they did. They got a really good taste of what it's really like. Not just to make it, but to make it all the way to the finals.
Yeah.
And I believe, I hope I'm right, because we'd love to go back, that this bunch that we got coming back, they know, number one, they know they can. And number two, they know what it takes, because there's a lot of things, as we mentioned before, there's a lot of things you got to do to get there.
Yeah.
Playing in the summer is one of them. Doing all the things that we need to do, like you mentioned, there's really not an off season. We've got some of them playing right now. We're looking for this team, even though we're going to go. Of course, this is one of the things that scares me as a coach. We're going to go from a 6-senior team to a team with only 2 seniors.
Yeah, and but you've been there before. But last question, Coach, and then we'll let you go. But obviously, you may not talk about and dwell on too much about the state title run last year as you're focusing on this upcoming season. But with last season's success comes the expectation when other teams take on Dawson County. How do you feel like your girls are prepared to kind of take on that bullseye on the back mentality?
I think they are. I think a lot of things is that a couple of things. We play a lot of games and we play a lot of people. As I told you before, we tried to schedule a lot of games in the summertime and bounce around. We went to 4 different camps, and because I wanted them not just to see people, and I think not just, and I say by seeing people, I mean the ones that we normally play. I try to go places where we're not going to play anybody that we play in regular season unless it just happens by chance. So seeing all of that and going against all of that, plus we got a lot of our players play on different AAU teams and traveling teams, so they see a lot of different folks and play against a lot of different styles. And one of the reasons we go to Georgia College is because most of the time there's a lot of the South Georgia teams there.
Right.
And we need to be exposed to that, because if we are fortunate enough to make it back, we're going to have to play some of them teams.
Yeah.
And so, I try to get all of that in it and have them prepared for any kind of style, whether it be, somebody who presses the whole game or somebody who just beats and bangs, as we call it, and, or they play half court, full court, they're going to run up and down. And so I try to get us games that we're going to see all of that in the summertime, so that when and if we make it back, then, it's not that first time feeling that we've seen it before and we're able to go out there and do what we got to do. And that's another good thing about these kids. I tell you, I just feel real good about them because of the way they can adjust. And if you ask one of the girls, that's one of our big words that we talk about a lot, actually, is adjusting to whatever the game is of the one that we're playing right then.
Right.
That's what you have to do. If it ain't going the way you thought it would, then you got to do something else.
Yeah.
You know that. You've plenty of games. Sometimes what we thought was going to be the best thing that night happens to not be. Well, we can't just stop. We got to do something else.
Yeah.
So we try to work on that a lot, and these kids do a good job of picking up on that and taking it in and putting it in parts of the game that they need to help us win.
Well, Coach Sweat, thanks again for your time today. Have a good rest of the summer, and I look forward to catching up with you come basketball season, and we'll talk about everything again then.
I hope so.
Thanks, Coach.
Yes, sir.
When we come back, we're in the studio with some surprise highlights and our player of the week.